Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Political Talk with JB. And today I am joined by Miss Missy Evans, who is running for mayor of Hartselle, Alabama. Missy, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Thank you. I am doing well. Thank you. It's been a good day, good full day, and this is my second podcast today, so we're having fun.
Nice, nice. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how did you get to the point of deciding, you know what, I want to run for mayor of Hartselle?
All right. Well, as you already said, my name is Missy Evans, and a little bit about my background. I first learned about Hartselle when I was a student at Auburn University back in 1987. Yes, I'm a child of the 80s. And while I was there, I met my husband, who was a 1985 graduate of Hartselle High School. And he introduced me to Hartselle, brought me here one, I think it was homecoming weekend, football homecoming weekend. And I just immediately fell in love with this community, with the charm of it, with the people. And we married after college, and my parents immediately went to South Korea for 10 years. The week after our wedding date. So, as a new bride, I didn't have the luxury of being able to lean into my parents. I was coming home to Hartselle and immediately leaning into this community. We lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for 28 years. We thought my husband took a job out of college, and we thought we'd live there for, I don't know, maybe, 3 to 5 years, and then we'd make our way back over here. But, circumstances just led to us staying there. And when our oldest daughter went to college, she came back to Alabama. And on one of the first trips here, we just felt called to uproot from North Carolina and come back home. And it led us back here to Hartselle. We felt in our heart, in our spirit, that we were being called back here for some type of revitalization work. We didn't really know what that was, but that's what we were excited about. And came to Hartselle in 2019, right before COVID hit. I was hired by Hartselle City Schools to work as a teacher's aide in the junior high. I'm a mother of 5 kids, and with that just comes along a deep commitment to education. We had homeschooled, we had done our public school system in Charlotte, we had done private school, pretty much any way, shape, and form of educating our kids. We had tried it, and so I had a strong commitment to education, and through that worked at the junior high, and then quickly learned about the opening at the Hartselle Area Chamber of Commerce to serve as their president and CEO. My professional background before I took that position is I had worked in both Fortune 500 companies and administration, and then spent several years working in what's literally called mega churches in their administration, working with 16 $26 million budgets, and with facilities that included a campus with ten buildings and a school. And, so those were things that were just already in my blood and I was very comfortable with. So it seemed like a good fit for me to come on as the president and CEO of the Hartselle Area Chamber. And within that role, I served there for just short of 4 years. And in that role, we launched our first capital campaign. We saw a financial increase, increased our revenue by nearly 73%, and grew our membership base by 37%. So really proud of that. It took a lot of work, but I look back on those years as the years where I really let my roots go down deep into Hartselle. I learned about the history of Hartselle. I learned about the incredible creativity that is resident in the people of Hartselle, and certainly learned how to administrate and grow a volunteer-based organization to become a an organization that was truly serving the community and the community's needs. We worked from anywhere from the youth of our community all the way to our older adults, and definitely was focused on serving our business community. But also in that role, we did a lot of tourism-based functions like leading the very popular Depot Days Festival and hosting other events just to create a sense of community and really grow community pride as well as drive more tourism dollars into our city. So that's kind of my background. And I don't know, did you ask me what led me to make this decision to be mayor?
Yes. What led you to make this decision to want to run for mayor?
Right. Well, so back in November of 23, my oldest daughter was pregnant and delivered our first grandchildren, twin girls. And that was just a season of life I was not willing to miss. And so I stepped away from the chamber and spent a year really just trying to help her get her feet up underneath her in that new role of being a mom, especially to twins, and also worked on regaining some of my health and but in that time that I was at the chamber had lots of people kind of jokingly say Missy for mayor, and I laughed with them about that because it just didn't seem like a role that I was really eager to jump into. But the closer the elections came, I realized that no one was jumping into the arena to challenge the incumbent, and I realized that I had the training, I had the background, I had spent years in that role at the chamber of networking with important community partners that are already serving Hartselle. So those numbers were in my cell phone. I knew those connections, and it just seemed more and more like I'd spent a year praying that someone else would step up, but no one else was. And I truly believe in the whole election process. I think it's so important for a community to engage in the process of a healthy election, because what happens is it pulls people together. We start talking about things that are important. We start listening to each other. We prioritize things that maybe have grown dormant or we've kind of forgotten about. And sometimes it gets a little messy, but messy isn't bad. Messy just means progress. So, all that to say, I wasn't willing to let another election go by without us being able to engage in the process of a debated election so that the people of Hartselle had a choice. And I feel like I am the best choice for this because it's a new season. We have had the same leadership for 9 years, and I believe the people of Hartselle are looking for something new, and they won't be making a compromise when they're choosing me. They'll be choosing someone who has experience outside of this community and can bring a fresh perspective as well as new ideas and new energy. But they'll also be electing someone who understands the history and the complexity of Hartselle, because I have a husband who has literally centuries of family right here in Morgan County, and I have spent 34 years growing those relationships, coming back here, and really just thankful for the family that I'm a part of through my husband too. So yeah, that's why I'm running, and that's why I believe that I'll be the best choice for this role.
So, as it relates to strategic growth for Hartselle, what is your plan as the next mayor when it comes to strategic growth?
Well, Hartselle is a really special town. The chamber, when we were doing some branding research, trying to, it's one of the things that the chamber's tasked with is marketing the city of Hartselle. So we engaged with the help of many of our community business partners in a massive branding campaign. And through that, we got input from nearly 1,000 people, both in Hartselle and outside of Hartselle. And from that, what we learned is that the perception of Hartselle is that we're kind of just a nice little sleepy town. We've got some great people still think we have great antique shops, and we still have a few, but that era of antiques has really was a thing of the past for us now. Most people know our downtown, but we have an exit. We actually have two I-65 access exits, and they are rather dormant. And we are missing out on some opportunity for tax dollars that are from right outside of our community, outside of the state of Alabama to drive right into Hartselle. And that area over there has remained dormant. The Cracker Barrel was built in 2010, and we've got almost 15 years of no other growth there on our I-65 access. We have empty blue signs, which we did a little research about that when I was at the chamber, and there's really not much to it. It's just collaborating with our businesses to get their names on those blue signs, which drive traffic right off the interstate. But it also means we're not talking about growth for the sake of more numbers. We're talking about growth for the sake of increasing our capacity as a city to be able to bring in more outsiders. We need new hotels here. We need the ability to host outside groups with better sports tourism. We need to really embrace our downtown as our identity. As I like to say, it's our Disney World. As Disney World is to Orlando, downtown Hartselle is to Hartselle. And we need to embrace that. We need to nurture it. We need to see that it is successful and grows so that that becomes our brand. That becomes the thing that we're known for. And when people come to Hartselle, they can experience something special there, something really uniquely charming is their tagline. So, anyway, so that's really what strategic growth is all about to me, is just growing our capacity, creating opportunity for entrepreneurs, for small businesses, for more industry to come. We have that Morgan Center, which is intended to house up to 10 industries. And right now, I think we've got two that are there. So, and that has been a property that was developed by the Morgan County Economic Development Association many years ago. I want to say as much as 20 years ago. And so it's time for that to boom. And, things like that we just want to work alongside of our partners. Alabama is a unique state in that we have many organizations that have been tasked by the state to serve small communities like ours with these growth initiatives. The Morgan County Economic Development Association, our Tourism Bureau, even just the partnership that we can have with the Morgan County Commission. Our county is a very rich and promising county up here in North Alabama. We're one of the most progressive counties outside of course, the Huntsville and Madison area. But we have a real opportunity there, and we need to be collaborating better to expand and to monopolize on what we already have, which are incredible gifts that we have, and we want to monopolize on those for more strategic growth.
Well said. When it comes
Yeah.
to our roads, and you and I both know the roads in Hartselle need a little TLC. What is your
Yes.
plan on making sure that our roads get updated as well as
Mhm.
maintained
Yes.
once we're able to update those roads and maintain them?
Yes. 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 Well, I like to say roads aren't sexy. Nobody gets excited about roads, but roads are to a community like a beautiful new dress is to a woman, meaning that they create a sense of pride and hope. In this, it just makes you feel like, okay, things are getting taken care of. And that is contagious. It makes you want to go and maybe take care of your property a little bit better, maybe upgrade your small business a little bit more, because, it's this symbiotic relationship that a private individual, a private business has with public entities like the city that, a rising tide raises all ships. And so all that to say that the care of our roads is important, and it is what outsiders see when they come in. It immediately gives them that sense of this is a town that cares. This is a town that's investing in themselves. And so it's really as simple as making sure that we are allocating funds for that on a regular basis and that we are engaging in a regular maintenance plan. And that means that we start it and we don't stop it. I like to tell this story. When I lived in Charlotte, we were in a neighborhood that was off of what used to be a county road. And over the years, as Charlotte grew, we got annexed into the city. And that road was highly insufficient to handle the amount of traffic that was being traveled on it every day. And so one day I thought, you know what? I'm going to call the city and just see what they have to say about this. So I called him. I said, what's the plan with this road? Well, the gentleman on the phone, he put the phone down. He didn't even put me on, hold or mute or anything. He just literally set the phone down. I could hear him typing on his computer. And he said, well, Miss Evans, that road is scheduled in the year, I think it was 3 years out from that point, to have it completely redone. And I just was startled. My mouth was open of like, how, okay. And, I wasn't, it wasn't the answer that I wanted, but I was satisfied. I was satisfied knowing that the city had a plan. And that's what I hear when I'm out and about is when I ask, when say, well, what's important to you? My road hasn't been paved in 10 years and I have potholes bigger than my tires and they have standing water in them and that's disappointing, but what's even more disappointing is that the city doesn't have a plan for that. And we have lived too long being reactionary about these things. And so that's my plan for roads is we make a plan and we stick to that plan and we don't stop that plan. That it's going to have to be something that we maintain for really in perpetuity. And that's what our people deserve.
Well said. As it relates to parks and recreation, what is your plan when it comes to that?
Yeah, well, um, our schools are hands down the biggest attractor for why people remain in this city or move to this city. You'll hear a story probably every day that you're out and about how someone heard about our schools. We have a top 10 school system here in the state of Alabama,
Yes.
and we have so much school pride. It is something that we are producing on a regular basis athletes that are playing at the next level when they leave high school. We have students regularly that are, national merit scholars that are scoring top scores on ACT, getting into any school of their choice. And we are delighted in that. But because of that truth, our community is what I like to call a family forward, a family, what am I calling it? A family first community. And so that, we have a very unique demographic here. And because of that, our parks need to be in keeping with the caliber of our schools. The parks are where kids are making their memories, that core memories for that reality. It's where families are gathering. It's where kids are learning character skills. They're learning how to problem solve, playing on sports and getting out there and just, growing physically. And, if we want those kind of athletes feeding into our schools, then we need to make sure that that seed bed, that opportunity for them to grow is resident within our park and rec. And so we have an incredible opportunity to do something special with our park and rec. But the other side of that coin is sports tourism is one of the most significant forms, especially for a family first community like Hartselle, to drive in outside dollars. And many of our smaller communities that are our size or even smaller are monopolizing on this. Albertville, Gardendale, and others like that that are making investments that, it may take a few years for those investments to return, but when they do really crest that return on it, ROI, then um, it is a really wise investment for a community like Hartselle, because we'll never stop being that family first community. As long as our schools thrive, that's who we will be. And so that's really my vision for that. I know the city has recently invested in a three-phase renovation of Sparkman Park, but we also have other aspects within our park system. We've got properties scattered throughout the city that need some TLC and a new vision for those, so that those can support the kind of programming that our people need and our citizens deserve. So that's really my vision for that. And I just want to add too, I mentioned earlier that one of the things that I believe, it's kind of one of my core beliefs is, and I saw this when I was at the chamber, what is in the creativity and the capacity within our residents to solve our community problems. And the city exists to serve our community, but that doesn't mean at the exclusivity of our citizens. And one of the things that I'm excited about, especially because my background is in volunteer organizations, is to see more of our community get involved. Our park and rec, we need more. We have incredible people that take advantage of our cities, people that have long histories in refereeing and sports management and their own background in playing sports at a really high level, that are, coaches and working alongside of our park and rec. And we want to take advantage of that and help them be helping us. So that's one thing I'm excited about, is just getting the community more involved in helping us become what everyone already has a vision for it to be.
Understood. As it
Yeah.
relates to open government, what is your plan for that?
Yeah. Well, you know, open and responsive government is really my number one. I'm going to hold up my card here. My top priorities. Number one is open and responsive government. And um, and this is something I feel really passionate about, because at the end of the day, it means accessibility. It means that you can find me, you can call me, that those doors will not be locked. There will not be a no button on the front door. You will be able to reach me. We'll be able to have a conversation. I will hear you, and we will together roll up our sleeves and figure out solutions to your problems. I like to say, the city is my customer, and I am here to serve you. Um, Practically, what that looks like is just something as simple as having streamed city council meetings. Since 2020, that's a norm. Our county commission has been streaming them for the last 7 years. And making sure, I know the city recently did a website up improvement, but making sure that that website is staying updated, that those meeting minutes are on there, and on there in a timely manner, that people know about the community task forces and the boards that the city has, and they know how to apply for them and what those terms look like, and what's going on in those meetings too. So that's something, again, I just feel very passionate about, because I think the more that we diffuse the cycle of conjecturing and guessing about what's happening in our city, the more that we provide people with a sense of power and hope and pride. It's just important. It's all about communication. We all know at the core of a healthy relationship is the quality of your communication. And that's what I just seek to strengthen. I seek to strengthen the channels of communication from the city to our citizens, and then also back to the city as well. And I'm telling you that it sounds simple, but I do know that that our city staff is stretched, and that's a difficult task. But as the mayor, I want to help alleviate that. I want to help them to feel more comfortable in those roles, and me even, lift some of that off their shoulders as well.
Why should the people of Hartselle vote for you?
Well, I hope from our interview today you can tell that I'm passionate about this, but also, I believe I bring to this role experience, as I mentioned earlier, experience from an outsider's perspective, but also from being able to carry the history and the heart of Heart Soul, because I do come from a family that has been here in this area for, as I already mentioned, more than a century, and so I think I'm bringing to the role kind of the best of both worlds and a fresh new perspective. I also think that the city of Hartselle is ready for a change. Um, I know most people that have worked with me at the chamber recognize my fair-mindedness, my ability to listen, to value others' input, and to roll up my sleeves and get things done. I have proven that over and over again. And, I could go on and on about my record at the chamber, but those things are easy to find on my website, and you can read more about me there. But I do believe that I bring the experience, I bring the passion, and I bring a perspective that is healthy and good for Heart Soul. We don't need to let Heart Soul become, or even, in my opinion, stay in a stagnant place. We need to see Hartsel moving and keeping step with what is happening in our culture, not at the expense of the things that we value here. As I mentioned, our family first values, but also we want to be a community that people admire, that people look forward to visiting, that people know things are happening here and are excited about coming to visit. I'd love for Hartsel's reputation one day to be, oh, Hartsel, I can't wait to come to Hartsel. They've got a lot of neat things going on there. And my family always enjoys coming to Hartsel. So, I don't want to be known for antique stores that closed 15 years ago. I want to be
Understand.
known as a place where people can find life and new experiences, and a place where people are cared for. So that's the reason why people need to vote for me.
If people want to ask additional questions, make a donation to your campaign, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, it's really easy. I have a website, and it's missyevans.com. Missy is spelled Missy, Evans, Evans.com. You can go to my website. Really, everything is there. You can read about my bio. You can read about my policies and priorities. You can even find out where I'm going to be that week, as well as find out ways that you can sign up to volunteer and give and show your support. So I'm really pleased with that website. I think that it's going to answer every question you have. I also have a newsletter that is we're going to seek to get out on a regular basis. So if anyone is interested in getting on the newsletter, right there on my website under how you can help, there's a place for you to sign up for that newsletter too, and you can learn more about me through that channel as well. So Facebook, Missy for Mayor is my Facebook handle. You can also go to Instagram, which is also at Missy, the number 4 Mayor. And then the last thing is you can email me. Email me. It's just info@missyevans.com. And I've already on all those channels been dialoguing with our community, and really look forward to talking to you as well if you've got any questions for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Missy Evans, candidate for mayor of Hartselle, Alabama. Missy, thank you for your time and best of luck to you and your campaign.
Thank you, Julian. I really appreciate you giving me this platform, and I'm really excited about the things going on with you as well.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you.